Okay, Nicole, so what does this accomplishment, being named a 2022 Young Retailer of the Year, what does this mean at this stage of your career?
Well, it means a ton to me, actually. So I think you know a little bit of my history.
I do.
I came from a completely different background. I was an elementary school teacher. So having come to this industry with very limited marketing experience, retail experience, and just Wilco knowledge, it's a big deal for me to be here where I am today. So it's definitely a highlight of my career and one that I'm really proud of.
Now, how did you end up at Wilco?
Okay, good story there. So actually, I did not know of Wilco. My husband worked at Wilco, and I was just looking for a change. I was at a point in my teaching career where it was just a rough time, and so I was ready to move on. And he introduced me to Wilco, and I realized I had a lot of skills that were transferable that I could still use in this position, and so. That's how I arrived there.
So, this wasn't your first career choice. So what has been inspirational about becoming a retailer versus a second grade teacher?
Oh gosh, inspirational about becoming a retailer. I think one of the things that I like, which inspires me, is that in this industry, in this business, we really get to connect with people and help them.
Adults,
yes. And provide, solutions and options for them and whatever they're working on, whether it's a backyard garden they're putting in, or they want to start a chick flock, or they're just doing a home DIY project. We get to be there to help them through it. So.
The three pillars of this award are career accomplishments at such an early stage of your career, community involvement, and hardware education. So let's take those one at a time. What stands out in your mind as your greatest career accomplishment so far?
Well, this is a pretty big one. But aside from this as being a huge highlight of my career, I've also been a part of a lot of different things that have gotten me here. So, for example, being a part of some record-breaking grand openings, leading those marketing events and so forth. Those are really big career highlights for me. Before I started at Wilco, we did not do a ton of really big, all the hoopla and the big opening events. And so to get that to where it is today is pretty cool. Another one, which you'll be familiar with, is the Product Knowledge Training Expo. So that was not a program we had before, but it was a product of the RMCP program. So I got to lead that with Lauren Bailey. And today it's like our #1 training event. So it's a really big deal for us. And so to lead that and roll it out was a pretty big accomplishment. And now our training team has taken it and they have evolved and they've refined it and fine-tuned it. So yeah, those are just a few of them.
And you've really been with Wilco during a huge growth spurt with them. When you started, they have 13, 14 stores,
oh, gosh.
And now today is 25?
Yeah, I think 11 or 12 when I started, and now today, 25.
That's amazing growth. And you've been involved in all those grand openings.
Yes. Yeah, I took a little bit of time off from this position. I moved to a category marketer position. And so I think there was only one opening in that time that I wasn't directly involved in, but all the rest, yes. So,
regarding community involvement, as an independent retailer, can you talk about the importance of being involved in all these 25 communities that you operate stores in, and specifically some of the ways that you are involved with?
Yeah. So at Wilco, community is one of our core values. We definitely live by it every single day. So for me, what I get to do is I get to help lead all of our corporate giving, our community donations and sponsorships. So over the course of the years, I have seen a lot of really neat things happen in the different communities. I also help with FFA Forever, which is our annual campaign for raising funds for the FFA foundations in the states that we serve. And to date, we've been able to raise over $1.7 million. And those funds go back to the foundations, trickle down to the chapters, which is reaching all the kids. And then aside from that, I'm also a part of Oregon AgLink, which is a nonprofit organization that works really hard to bridge the gap between urban and rural Oregon. And so, those are just a few ways.
So promoting ongoing education, you already mentioned several that you've been directly involved with, attending our retail management certification program in 2016, I believe.
Yep, that sounds right.
And your business improvement project being a key way to train all Wilco employees today. Can you kind of talk about the importance of ongoing education for yourself and your team members?
Yeah, of course. So ongoing education and constant learning, like we need to be doing that all the time. As you know, things are changing in this world daily. And so the only way to keep up with that is to keep learning. So for me, I have done things like the RMCP program. I've gone to Dale Carnegie. I've done just a ton of different things. I've been to different conferences, ETEL West, just those kinds of things. When it comes to our team, I always encourage my team, aside from the things that we send them to, even in your free time, you can find free webinars, you can YouTube, whatever it is. There's just, if you are eager to learn, you will do it. And so I try to promote a lot of those ways for learning. And then, it seems like there's always someone going to something at NHPA, a round table. So, those kinds of industry events and so forth is good for our people to attend.
It's been a crazy couple of years, the last 2 years. What are some of the most valuable lessons that you've learned from, what the whole world has experienced throughout the period of COVID?
Yeah. So one of the things I love about Wilco is that we are a planning company. We plan everything to a T. When the pandemic started, we were planned, we were ready to go, but we couldn't execute on those plans. And so I think one of the most valuable things that I've learned is that you really need to be flexible, you need to be adaptable, and you can have plan A, B, and C in place, but potentially they could all go out the window. So those are my big takeaways from the pandemic: staying flexible, adaptable, and just being willing to move with it and change with it when you need to.
So Nicole, in your opinion, what are some of the biggest opportunities we have as independent retailers? And what are some of those opportunities that you look forward to in the short term and then the long term?
Yeah. So going back to what I was just saying about how things are just constantly and rapidly changing. I think that that's a big opportunity to figure out how we can try to stay one step ahead. How can we try to anticipate some of the changes that are happening? Because if we can do that, we know that customer shopping habits and so forth, it's going to change and it's all going to evolve. But if we can stay even a tiny step ahead, then we can react quickly, we can make adjustments and so forth.
So how about your goals? What are your goals in both the short term and the long term for your career?
Yeah, so I think, for me, I want to keep working and evolving the Wilco marketing program. So when I started 10 years ago, it was nothing like it is today. And as you mentioned, we're continuously growing. We're growing at a fast pace. And so I just want to keep evolving, seeing what we can do to better serve the customers and support our stores. And then, of course, I want to keep developing my team. I just finished a course, a Dale Carnegie course about unleashing talent in others. And so that is something that's really important to me, is just keep working with my team.
So looking back on the last decade of your career, what do you love most about this business? And what advice would you give to maybe a young person considering a career in home improvement retailing?
Oh, gosh. Okay. So number one, I love the people. Everyone is so nice, whether it's like who we're working with at the NHPA or vendor partners, our customers, everyone's so great to work with. I love that we get to be there for our customers. We get to, like I was mentioning earlier, help them with their projects and what they're working on and so forth. Advice that I would give to someone coming into the industry, I would say, work hard. definitely work hard. Find the strengths and the skills that you're really good at and hone in on those. That was really important for me. Like I said, I had no background with marketing, retail, but I had basic skills that were transferable, and that has really helped me. And then, of course, being flexible, being adaptable, being willing to learn. Those are all things that I think that can make anyone successful in anything that they're doing.
So Wilco is obviously very involved with NHPA, and you've already mentioned some of the ways that they're involved, and you have been as well. What else can we do to help Wilco and Nicole succeed?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I think you guys do a really good job at is bringing people together. So I would say continue to hold those roundtables, continue to offer the courses, the RMCP class, and so forth. When you can bring people together and learn from others in the industry, it is you take a lot from that, and you can bring that back to your store, your company, and it's just really helpful. So I would say keep holding those events.
Is there anyone, and I'm sure there is, that you would like to thank for this?
Yes. Okay, so I would love to thank Lee Cutbirth. He was the hiring manager when I started at Wilco, and he definitely took a risk a little bit of a risk when he hired me. So I'd like to thank him. Others would be Sam Bogarski, TJ Colson, Jake Wilson, Brian Coons, Lisa Smith. All of those people have either challenged me, provided really sound advice, and just given me the opportunity. And then, of course, I need to thank our team. Without them, we couldn't do what we do every day. And last but not least, but most importantly, would be my husband, who has been my number one supporter. So, yeah.
Well, fantastic, and congratulations again, Nicole.
Thank you.